such a truly beautiful country. It's just fresh and lovely. The power of the architecture and the music, and the people are so lovely and passionate and warm.
You're totally adapted to Austria.
I'm having a great time. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I bought this.
So
I had this shipped to me in Los Angeles, and I bought it for this convention, and I wasn't sure if it was right, but I thought, well, I'll try. So yeah, I'm excited about being here.
I think at a convention like this, you can wear anything and it fits kind of. It's just I'm playing an Austrian girl.
I'm playing. That's my cosplay. Yes. Thank you.
Always goes. I had an interview with your former colleague, Max.
Yes.
And he told me about your kissing scene.
Oh, yes.
He had this mask on, and
yes.
you really wanted to kiss him while it was still sticky.
Yes, but he would get his orange makeup all over me, and I know how guys feel now. Please.
Okay, so you ripped off part of his mask and it's stick together okay. Did you see him yesterday or today? How is it to see former colleagues
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to see each other quite a bit, and it's always a wonderful reminder of the show we did together, and then we do new shows together. Max and I did a music show yesterday.
Oh.
Chase and Max Tonight is what it was called. We used to do a variety show with a lot of the Ferengi called the Ferengi Family Hour, which was kind of like Donnie and Marie for Ferengi. You know that? Anyway, like a variety show for Ferengi, which is fun. You just tell jokes and do parody songs, and it just is kind of like making fun of the show, but also revisiting it in a kind of a sweet, sentimental way.
Yeah, of course. You are also doing music in a professional way.
Yes.
So this is, he told me that he is not that good in singing. I think he underestimates I
think he's great, and he also is the author he's written all of these songs. He does all the lyrics, and I think he's brilliant.
Okay. So it's always nice to see people at the convention. So
yeah.
And how many conventions do you visit in a year?
Last year there was a lot because it was the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. This year there's been a good amount also. Next year it's also going to be good because it's the 25th anniversary of Deep Space Nine. And I also do Doctor Who conventions for, I have an audio Doctor Who spin-off. So Big Finish Productions is the company that does the licensed audio adventures of Doctor Who. And all the original Doctors do these audio. And they're very well produced with the full cast and music and sound effects and everything. And Big Finish's motto is, "We love story." They have really fantastic writing. And I was brought in to play opposite Tom Baker in one episode. And then another character, I was brought in to play opposite Sylvester McCoy, playing his nemesis. And when the episode was released, we broke the internet. The system crashed and the site crashed, and they said it sold really well, and they asked if I would like my own show.
Yes.
So hearing, "Chase, would you like your own Doctor Who spin-off?" I said, yes.
Give me a second.
And give me a second. And so that was 4 years ago, and we are now in season 4, and it's selling really well, and I love the character.
Yeah, how is the character progressing? How much do you see yourself in the character?
I love the character partly because she's a strong woman. First of all, and we need more strong women represented in media. But I also love the character because she's funny. She's a clumsy assassin. So. She's who Vienna is. She's an assassin with a heart of gold. So she's a mercenary assassin. So you can hire Vienna to kill somebody. But if you hire her to kill the good guy, she'll turn it around and she'll kill the bad guy instead. So she has her own very keen sense of justice.
Yes.
And yet she's also very clumsy. So she's always doing something's always going wrong, and it's actually really funny. And that's one thing. You don't find a lot of funny science fiction. You know? I mean, I think there's a lot of great humor on The Flash and a couple other shows, but it's not always imbued with humor. This show has got drama and comedy both. So I say because Vienna is a clumsy assassin, it's kind of like if La Femme Nikita and Elaine from Seinfeld had a baby. It's a great combination.
Okay.
So yeah, and really fun, great science fiction themes. There's one story about the hypocrisy in religion, and another of the episodes is about child soldiers and what happens to children's lives in some countries. Another episode is about the falseness of the beauty industry and how we're always meant to feel like we're not enough and how wrong that is.
Yeah.
And so there's great science fiction themes. I'm proud of the show. So find it at bigfinish.com.
Yeah, I was also thinking about your former role in Deep Space Nine. Like you were a very flirty, open character.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about how was it to be like this more feminine role and not a strong woman. I think it's not a contrast. So
Exactly.
sometimes the people say, you're such a strong woman because you don't laugh, you don't have any humor,
Right.
and this is something
Right.
I really don't like. So it's
You're so right about this. You can be a strong woman and still be funny and still be flirty and still be soft-hearted and still be compassionate. You don't have to be the, butch woman with your armor on your sleeve.
I don't need anyone.
Right. You can be strong. In fact, compassion is very strong. And empathy is extremely strong. And Lita was very strong because she's the girl that loved the guy who was only pretty on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a real strength and an integrity and a knowledge of what's important. That takes values. And values equal strength. So nobody tell me that Lita was not a strong woman and that this contrast of, do you wish she was stronger? She was plenty strong. And I think that's one of the great themes of Star Trek, is that things aren't always what you think they are. Look deeper.
Yeah. Well, you also worked with Mel Brooks.
Yes, I did.
How was that?
It was wonderful. Thank you for asking. You do your homework, and I appreciate it.
Of course.
Working with Mel Brooks was a wonderful, wonderful story to that. So I originally met Mel in an open call where you just go and you meet the director, which is very rare that a director of that scale would meet people. Usually it's down to call back, or something. But a first meeting, we met and we hit it off. We clicked and we made each other laugh. And so he wrote in this role of Lady Godiva in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And a couple weeks later, I got the call that Lady Godiva was being written out, but they were going to try to find another role for me. And that's always that's the kiss of death. Of course, they say they're going to try to find another role, but they don't. So I thought, I have to be in this movie. What do? Make Mel Brooks laugh, right? Isn't that the best way to relate? Of course. So I got this scroll, and my sister helped me write it in calligraphy, write on this scroll because it was Robin Hood. So we figured to make a scroll with red tassels and all very Robin Hood, and we wrote, "There once was an actress named Chase who had a quite pliable face. Lead, supporting, or bit. She was a sure hit. Mr. Brooks, you must find me a place." And he did.
That's cool.
Isn't that so fun?
Because you were funny, actually. And this
Thank
is something
you.
I really find great about you.
Thank you.
In Star Trek, you also you were written like one episode, but because of your performance and your charisma, it evolved to a recurring role, right?
Thank you.
So this is something you can really be proud of, like not just
you.
about the look. And
I am proud of it. I'm grateful, and thank you for knowing that. I appreciate it. It's always nice when someone does their homework. You're great.
Sophie, it's a strong woman,
Strong women. That's exactly it, right? and that's really important. It's great when those messages go from on screen to real life. And we can encourage women to be strong and to take initiative and to do things. To use our brains and our hearts and make a way for ourselves in the world. And in the industry, it's really important to always keep your eye out for what extra you can do to make things happen for yourself, you know.
Yeah. So you definitely have something to say. Do you also participate on social media, and do you got lots of invitation for vlogging or something?
Thank you. I haven't been vlogging, but one thing I do that I've spent a lot of time on that's really close to my heart is I founded a charity called Pop Culture Hero Coalition, and you can find it online at popculturehero.org. And it's the first ever organization to make a stand against bullying, racism, misogyny, LGBTQIA bullying, cyberbullying, and other forms of hate using pop culture stories. So we use these stories of Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter, The Flash, Supergirl, to teach people, to show people, kids and adults, how much fun it is to be a hero in real life. Not just to love these stories on screen, but to actually make them happen. And that's why these stories are so popular. You know, Star Trek, 50 years and going strong.
Yeah.
Doctor Who, well over 50 years. And that's because these stories are transcendent. It rings in our hearts that we're supposed to be these heroes. We're supposed to make good things happen in the world for other people and for ourselves.
Yeah. So the main message can endure, can pass 15 years long. It's still the same message.
Yeah.
It's still the same idea.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They're eternal messages.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to make a stand for what's right. That's heroism. So we use these stories in schools, in Comic-Cons, and in communities. And I am serving on the advisory board of the United Nations Association because of my work in this field. And we're going strong. We're making some really good things happen. So check us out online, popculturehero.org, or on social media. We are at Superhero IRL, which is superhero in real life.
Definitely check this out. One last question about video games.
Yep.
Are there any games you like to play, or do you have experience in video games?
You know, I wish I were a gamer, but I will tell you, I got to, because I've just worked so hard on my charity, I don't have a lot of extra time, but I get to do 2 roles in Star Trek Online, which I love that game. It's so well done. The art is great. The whole environment, they've created this amazing world. So I play Lita, and I also play Mirror Lita, who is the opposite of Lita. She's vicious admiral who wants to just own everything. She is relentless, and she's never going to be satisfied until she's the queen of everything. She would eat the Borg Queen for breakfast. She is vicious and really, like I said, the opposite of Lita. So it's really fun to do both of those roles in that game.
I can imagine that, yes.
Thanks.
So, do you have something to say to our community? I think you have already said very beautiful things. Especially about women.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Well, congrats to you for being a woman in the gaming community and in entertainment. You know, it's just really super important that we keep, showing that that gaming is for everybody. You know, and one thing is, talking about bullying as we do, we realize that sometimes, at least in America, there's this thing where people who have been bullied then turn it around and become the bullies, and they try to keep people out. They, sometimes men try to keep women out. That's the whole thing that happened with Gamergate. And don't do that. There's no reason to do that. There's room for all of us, right? I mean, it's so important that we just we treat each other like we want to be treated, Yeah. So kudos to you for, being strong and let's have diversity, right?
Right.
That's what we want. That's what we all want. We all want to be included.
Yeah.
So let's include other people. And
I think filming industry and game industry is progressing because there are lots of more strong women leading roles.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a place for both genders.
Yes. Just because you include someone doesn't mean you're excluding someone else.
Right.
There's room for all of us.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really
Nice
a pleasure
interview.
talking with you. Thank you.